Hey, how's it going, Brandon? It's me, Zach, and we're back here with another video. We're going to be going over basically how your exact Pikachu and PikaRom GX deck. Now, if you see any different cards in my list, it's just different arts. It's your exact list, the one that we've been working on for a while together. And it's one of those things we're going to be going over this exact Fossils box deck. It's a deck that Yoshi Tate actually just took to a top 64 finish at Knoxville. Not the most impressive result for a regionals finish, or likely a deck that I'd really go over. But I specifically wanted to go over this deck with you because it does have a pretty good PikaRom matchup. It just did recently okay, and it is a matchup that you have faced a few times online while we play, and you have struggled against it. So if you watched the last video, I'll go over some tips and tricks in that video on how to play this matchup. And in this video, we're actually just going to be going over how to play this matchup as well. So I will shoot over our friends at Rare Candy, one of their best players on there, a challenge. And let's see exactly how that goes. Let's go and find the Rare Candy peeps, shoot them over a challenge. Gotta find your deck here. PikaRom Brandon. So you can see, it's your list right there. Okay, and we're going to shoot them over a challenge. Okay. So they're calling a coin flip. And do we want to go first? Now, in most matchups, we definitely want to go first. So we will 100% click yes. And I'm just trying to click it here. Yes. Awesome. And here we got a weird start, but we're going to start with Jirachi. There's no need to put down another Pokemon because we can still decide what our opponent has based off what they play down. And you can see they're going to try to shut off our Pokemon tools. They're a welder-based engine. We're just waiting for them to find that. Yeah, we'll definitely draw 6 mulligans. That sounds amazing. That's really weird. And we'll still decide to see what our opponent flips up. So they started with a Jirachi. That's actually the only basic Pokemon I believe their deck plays. So they're going to start with Jirachi. Oh, they actually play one Hoopa as well. So they only play 5 basics. That's why they likely mulligan 5 times. And let's figure out what we want to do here. We only have 1 lightning energy in here. So you want to know what? Let's go ahead and discard the lightning energy. And let's discard a Dedenne because we really don't need that many. And our goal in this matchup is just to try to rush our opponent or to knock out their Pokemon with Zapdos really early. Now, we already have a Raichu, we already have a PikaRom, we already have a Zorora. There's really nothing we want to grab. We just were trying to get the lightning energy in our discard pile. So, and that was for Tapu Koko. Let's put this Raichu back away. Let's go for Tapu Koko Prism Star. That's going to be a super helpful card for us. So there's that. So we have our free retreat. We have our attacker. We have our Tapu Koko to power up energies. We actually want to use Dance of the Ancients in this matchup. Our opponent has 6 cards in the hand. We don't want to reset stamp them. Now, we could play Stadium Nav now, but our opponent's deck is based off of Pokemon Research Lab. They'd likely bump our Thunder Mountain Prism Star anyways. So let's go ahead and play as Cynthia. Okay, awesome. We did not get an energy at all, so that's very bad for our deck. Let's go ahead and Stellar Wish here. Just for a Lysander Labs. Wow. Wow, oh wow, oh wow. No energies on the first turn. That's some bad news for us. Lysander Labs isn't going to help our opponent. Electro Power isn't going to help. None of these things are going to help. Let's just bench another Jirachi down there in case they somehow knock this out. And let's pass our turn. And we are still asleep. Remember, if you're playing in real life, to roll for Jirachi in between turns. Don't forget that at all. So you're going to Energy Spinner for a bunch of energies. See what they got off Stellar Wish. And they're really trying to find a Pokemon Research Lab here. If they don't want a Pokemon Research Lab, we might be able to just knock out that Jirachi. Okay, they have it. So that can search for 2 Pokemon that evolve from unidentified fossil. So they could search for Aerodactyls. They could search for Tortugas. If their deck played it, they could search for Archon. They could search for a handful of different cards that could evolve from unidentified fossil. They got Hoopa, so all of our Pokemon with abilities. Right now, that Hoopa's swinging for 10 plus 20. So 10, 30, 50, 70, 90 damage. Nothing insane. So they're going to search for a Tortuga and an Aerodactyl GX. This is going to cost us 1 more energy to attack. And it is going to do some extra damage to our Pikachu and Zekrom. And we want to be careful not to click this, because if you click it, it does end your turn. So the best way that we could do anything here is just going for a Stadium Nav that can help us search out our Thunder Mountain, and a Lightning Energy. Let's get that Stadium Nav heads. Double tails, what the heck? What are we to do? We actually don't have very many options beyond that. Let's just attach a Lightning Energy there. We only have the 1 Lightning Energy in there. This start is not good for us at all. So let's proceed to pass here. We'll try to use that Tapu Koko for something else. We'll see what our opponent can do here. Now they can take their sweet time and use Pokemon Research Lab again to get more Pokemon out there. What's Aerodactyl weak to? It's weak to grass. We can't even knock that out in 1 hit. This deck can be fragile. The Fossils deck, that is. Just because they don't have a lot of support in it. It's more of a deck that people don't understand how to play against. But it doesn't really matter when you're drawing like us. We kind of have everything, but not all the right cards at the right time. Okay. Let's see what Stellar Wish brings us first before we decide to go with Volkner. And it just brought us another Volkner. How not helpful at all. Let's go Volkner for a Custom Catcher and a Lightning Energy. Just going to build up and try to knock out that Aerodactyl. And we do need extra energy to make that happen. So let's go ahead and pass here. Not too much that we can do about it. So we have our custom catchers, and we need one more electro power, and we need 4 energies to be able to use PikaRom's attack. So if they don't double custom catcher up our PikaRom first, they're in a bad spot. Reset stamp. So that's going to take away some of the cards we've been trying to gather, but maybe we'll be able to get some of those cards back. You can see we got a custom catcher and an electro power, and we have a switch, so we're not entirely in a bad position. Oh, there just looks like they're going to retreat the Jirachi and knock out our Jirachi with a Hoopa. It's not entirely the worst thing that could ever happen to us. So there's a Jirachi. And let's see what we can get off of this Jirachi right here. Let's go Stellar Wish. We did get a Cynthia. So let's go for a Cynthia. Let's play an Electro Power. Switch into this Pikachu and Zekrom. Let's get another Jirachi down. And you want to know what? I already made a mistake. I should have used Tapu Koko's Dance of the Ancients first, because we will not have enough energy to attack with Aerodactyl, but there's still the possibility of that happening. So let's go with Cynthia, see exactly what happens here. There's an escape board. We're going to put it onto that Jirachi. Let's reset stamp our opponent to give them some lesser cards. Let's go Electro Power, and let's go for Dedenne. So we did get a Thunder Mountain, but that's not really going to help us out too much. We don't have the custom catchers available to us. So you want to what? Let's just go Retreat, send up Jirachi, and let's go for Stellar Wish on this one. There's a custom catcher, so we could try to do it again next turn. We did waste 2 Electro Power, so that does kind of suck. But it's all good. We'll see exactly what our opponent can do this turn. Okay, so they're going to play an Escape Board down onto their Jirachi. They have an extra energy on their Aerodactyl. And they're going to evolve into a Caracosta. Caracostas, like Lysander Labs, all of our Pokemon tools are not going to do anything. Maybe they'll just knock out Jirachi here. There's Pikachu and Zekrom. We top decked an Electromagnetic Radar. I'm not entirely sure if that's something we want to play. Have we played any custom catchers yet? We have not. So let's just, before we go in with this Dedenne, we can see that we have 2 custom catchers left. So let's go ahead and grab a Raichu and a Alolan Raichu. We're finally going to use Dance of the Ancients, powering up this Pokemon. There's an Electro Power. Let's go Electromagnetic Radar, getting our Dedenne out. And let's try to thin our deck with Custom Catcher a little bit. Let's go for Dedenne here. So we need to try to get 2 of our 2 custom catchers in the deck. And we actually got none of them. That's really unfortunate for us. So we're actually just going to have to knock out their active Pokemon with Full Blitz. Powering up that Raichu and Alolan Raichu. This game is just not going anywhere for us, and our opponent's probably just going to send up their own Jirachi and use Stellar Wish and then knock us out with Aerodactyl GX because we are weak to Fighting type. Okay, there's a power plant stopping our abilities from working. And we still can't use our skateboard, so don't try to send up Jirachi. And our opponent's probably just going to attack with Aerodactyl using their Boulder Crush for 240 damage. So we'll just see what our opponent's doing. Oh, there's an unidentified fossil that they're going to play down. We'd really like to get a reset stamp here if that's a possibility. Well, we did not get reset stamp, so let's go Lysander Labs, turning off their escape board. Let's get that extra energy so we can use our GX attack. Let's play down an escape board onto this Dene. Let's play an Electro Power. Let's Custom Catcher to try to draw into a card. Zapdos doesn't necessarily help us out that much. So let's go ahead and knock them out with Lightning Ride GX. And we'll go ahead and send up this Zeraora as a sacrifice. So we'll see exactly what our opponent decides to do here. They still have their GX attack on board. They only have one prize card left. There's a PikaRom. For an Aerodactyl. And it only does damage to our opponent's active Pokemon. So unless they get double Custom Catchers and a Fighting Energy, we are in a very good spot. At least as good as we can get. And you can see that I'm looking through my opponent's discard pile to see what's in there. There's a Fiery Flint. They might just try to go for Boulder Crush here with a Welder and knock us out as well. That would also be a very bad spot for us. Okay, so since they're playing a Bill's Analysis, they are not able to use Welder this turn, so I think our opponent's trying to search for double Custom Catchers. There's a custom catcher and a martial arts dojo. There's a martial arts dojo. Looks like our opponent has double custom catchers. And they should have a fighting energy to knock out with Caracosta. Okay, so that did not work out for us at all. That's fine. So we will jump into another game, hopefully get a little bit of a better start, and see exactly what we can do here. We will go first in this game to try to get a better start than our opponents. Okay, so we should be able to go first here. And we did start with a Jirachi, not too bad. Our opponent also started with Jirachi. So here we're actually just going to go Electromagnetic Radar, discarding 2 lightning energies to get in discard pile for Tapu Koko Prism Star, which we have in our deck. We can also see we have our Thunder Mountain in our deck. Let's grab Zorora for free retreat, and let's grab Pikachu Zekrom. And here it's better for us to just go with Cynthia. I'm going to go ahead and use this Tapu Koko right now since we have it. We can still use Stellar Wish. We can use Stellar Wish for a Volkner. Lightning energy there. And let's put another Jirachi down. We could also put this Zapdos down since we're in a pretty good position already. So much better start than last game. Okay, so they're going to get some energies out there. And again, we're hoping that our opponent does not get a Pokemon Research Lab. They only play 5 basic Pokemon in this deck. Stellar Wish, we'll see what they grab. There's that Pokemon Research Labs we were hoping they weren't going to get. And remember, against their Aerodactyl GX, we will need extra energy to attack. Okay. So, let's go Electromagnetic Radar, get some clutter out of our deck. Let's get a Zorora and a PikaRom out of our deck so we can discard and have with the Dene and have a chance at getting some more cards. So let's go ahead and Dedenne GX here. We did get a Thunder Mountain. We did not get an energy though. Let's go Stellar Wish. And let's grab a Volkner for next turn. It doesn't look like we'd be able to normally get the attack off, but we did get our Thunder Mountain. And we can knock out this Jirachi very quickly with our Zapdos, putting us ahead by a prize card. So not a bad turn for us. Stadium Nav's not going to be too helpful. Hopefully they don't have double custom catchers or welder double custom catchers. And you can see that they have Caracosta that's going to shut off our Jirachi. So they're not going to attack there. They did bump our Thunder Mountain. So we're going to have to figure out something here. Probably going to have to grab... Let's bump their stadium. Let's go Volkner for a lightning energy and a switch. Let's go lightning energy there. So we can't even attack them. Let's just switch into a Jirachi. We'll switch into this one. We'll see what Stellar Wish brings us. Awesome. There is a Volkner. I'm going to take the chance that they don't have double custom catcher. We need to power up energies anyways to get across primal winds. Let's just pass. See what our opponent does here. Okay. Let's go for Volkner to grab a lightning energy and a switch. And here the only way we could take the knockout is by going with our Tag Bolt GX. We do have a Cynthia for next turn. That's pretty nice. And this would be a really good matchup if we played Power Plant in our deck. We do need to play an Electro Power to make sure that Tag Bolt gets the knockout. And there we go. Knockout on that Aerodactyl. 230. We're down to 3 prize cards. The one big issue in this matchup is going to be when our opponent goes for Wild Dive, they're going to hit us for 400 damage because of our weakness for a single energy. So Welder and a custom catcher. Okay, we do have free retreat, but we're not going to be able to attack this turn anyways. So let's send up Jirachi. And let's put down Raichu, Alolan Raichu. Let's just energy switch from our Zorora to Raichu. Let's waste this Stadium Nav since we want to try to get rid of cards in our hands. There's nothing to grab there anyways. let's go ahead and play Cynthia. We can always use Jirachi's Stellar Wish. There's a Cynthia right there. And we can go ahead and try to waste another card in our hands. So let's go ahead and pass. Hopefully our opponent doesn't have a martial arts dojo energy and double custom catcher. Otherwise, they will just win the game by knocking out our Raichu and a Alolan Raichu GX. So they're going to evolve into another Caracosta. There's a Welder for them. Seeing what our opponent can do here. Reset stamping us away. That's fine. Our hand wasn't that great. Actually got a lightning energy we could use. We'd really like to reset stamp our opponent to bring them down to 3 cards as well. So there's an energy, and they're probably going to get a knockout with onto the Jirachi. So an energy to knock out the Jirachi with Boulder Crush. So that's an easy knockout for our opponent. Let's go ahead and send up this Jirachi. And our plan is to knock out their Aerodactyl and knock out their Caracosta. So let's go ahead and, since nothing really matters, let's see what we can get off Stellar Wish. There is an electromagnetic radar, so we can go ahead and play that down to try and get a Jirachi to give ourselves a good chance at getting that reset stamp in our deck. Because I don't believe we've played reset stamp so far this game. Nope. So let's go to Dene. Aha, we did get reset stamp. So let's go reset stamp, ruining our opponent's hands. And let's let them knock us out. Now, we're still in a very tough position here because we need to be able to get off an energy switch, basically top decking that next turn. So let's send up Zapdos, a Pokemon that they can't knock out. Let's go Pokemon Communication, putting Jirachi away. And we actually don't have Energy Switch left in the deck. So therefore, we lose this game. We actually had it in our prizes. So we have no outs here. We just lose this game. Let's play Dedenne anyway, so you can see that we would not get it no matter what we did. No energy switch. We could double custom up this Caracosta. We can attack it for 10. And it just doesn't matter. We have 4 cards left in our deck. It doesn't matter if our opponent just passes here. Opponent needs a martial arts dojo to get the knockout. You can see even if we had tried to get anything with Volkner, We could tag switch so that we could do 40 damage. But we just lose the game because of the energy requirements from primal winds. So we tried, we were close, it doesn't matter. The energy management is very tough. Good game to our opponent, so we will try out one more game against this, see if it works out. See, and we will go first again this game. We're starting pretty okay. And again, we're not going to bench down any of our other Pokemon because, for one, we don't want to bench Dedenne. We might want to bench the other Jirachi, but we'll wait until see exactly what our opponent can do. Okay. So let's do this, and I think we're probably going to see if Stellar Wish brings us anything. We did get an escape board. So we can put an escape board on this one. We can play switch. We can go Electro Power, but Electro Power is not going to do anything in this case. We're going to go Dedenne and pitch our hand away. There's a PikaRom. Let's try to Cynthia. Draw ourselves an energy. Please, 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 please. We actually got 4 energies in our hand. Amazing. Just grab another supporter. And let's go ahead and pass here. Hopefully our opponent's not able to get out a Pokemon Research Lab this game. They have a welder. They're really trying to search for it. And they did get out a Pokemon Research Lab, so they've been able to get it out all 3 games. The best way to win against this deck is that they just don't get out Pokemon Research Lab. So the same thing as every other game. Now, let's go ahead and discard a Dedenne, discard a Lightning Energy. We'll get out a Zorora. And we do have our Tapu Koko Prism Star, and we have our Thunder Mountain prize this game. So really bad luck for us. We're going to get Cynthia out here. But great to grab the Pokemon or the Tapu Koko if it was not prized. Let's go ahead and use Stellar Wish while we saw that opportunity. Let's grab a custom catcher so we can bring up our opponent's Pokemon when we want to. And let's go ahead and retreat this into our other Jirachi so we have other opportunities. There is another escape board, so we can get some more cool stuff going on. Looks like we might just have to wait out our opponent a little bit this game. Hopefully they don't really get much. I would have really liked to bump that Pokemon Research Lab, but you want to know what? Just to show how bad it is, let's use it. We have no cards in our deck, and let's end our turn. And remember, like I said, remember to roll for Jirachis asleep in between turns, doing your sleep check, and make sure your opponent's doing it as well. PTCGO will automatically do it for you, but it is one of those things that you could easily forget about in tournaments. Okay. So here we are chilling. They got no Care Coast out there. Really just trying to power this up, doing whatever we can do. At this point, pretty confident that if our opponent doesn't reset stamp us or get double custom catcher, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's a Volkner. Just trying to get more and more cards out of our deck. Let's retreat this Jirachi. Stellar Wish. There's another Electro Power that we need. Let's go Volkner for a Lightning Energy and a Custom Catcher. And we are all ready next turn to knock out our opponent's Aerodactyl and power up our Raichu and Alolan Raichu on the bench. So let's go ahead and pass. So looks like they're just going to go Stadium Nav. Probably thin out their deck a little bit. Uh-oh, there's a Custom Catcher. Hopefully they don't have 2 copies of that. And it's okay for your deck to have a bad matchup. You can absolutely lose to a deck. This seems like a deck that's destined to beat our version of the deck. So far they don't have double Custom Catcher. Or maybe they don't have a way to switch. Guess we'll see exactly how that works out for them. There's a PikaRom. They're probably going to get out a Caracosta here, turning that Tortuga into a Caracosta to shut off our escape boards. So you can see their deck has a lot of annoying things with them having weakness against our Pokemon, them shutting off our tool cards, and they could even play Power Plant as well. Lots of bad things going on for us, but they did not knock us out. So that's really good. And we naturally top decked into the switch. So let's attach there. Let's go ahead and Volkner. Let's go for an Electro Power. Actually, let's go for a Reset Stamp and a Lightning Energy. We're going to go for our... You want to what? We could still use Stellar Wish. Let's grab an Energy Switch. And let's switch into our Pikachu and Zekrom. GX. Double Custom Catcher. Pick up Aerodactyl 1 or Aerodactyl 2. They're the exact same card, both with a Fighting Energy. 1 Electro Power. 2 electro power. So 150 plus 30, 180 plus 30 is 210. And there's really not much else that we want to do except go for full blitz for the knockout and power up our Raichu and our Alolan Raichu GX. 1, 2, 3. And we're hopefully going to get our Tapu Koko Prism Star and a Thunder Mountain. But unfortunately, we only found one. Okay. See what our opponent does here. We might just use their GX attack. Okay, they're going right into the Wild Dive GX. Putting themselves down to 3 prize cards. So let's go Zeraora. Let's attach a Lightning Energy to Zeraora. Let's go ahead and Tapu Koko Prism Star. Let's go ahead and use it. There's one. Let's power up this Dedenne anyways. So we have 4 energies on that poke. Let's reset stamp our opponents. Let's Stadium Nav here. Lysander Labs to shut off their Jirachis. Let's go ahead and play our own Volkner. There's an energy switch. And we can go through and see exactly what our opponent has done here. We could get the knockout with our GX attack, actually, but we would run out of energies. We've already used our tag switch, our escape boards are shut off. Let's just double check to see exactly what we have left in this deck with Pokemon Communication. Let's grab a Zapdos. Yeah, really we can't take that chance. We just need to hope that our opponent does not find a switch. Let's go ahead and Tandem Shock them and make them paralyzed. And see our opponent, they haven't played a switch yet. They'd have to find a switch and a welder. Okay, it looks like our opponent found a welder. And somehow got 2 fire energies in their hands. That was quite lucky of them. But maybe they will not be able to find a switching card. Okay, there's another energy. They're just trying to custom catcher to draw more cards out of their deck. And this should basically be a great position for us to take this game. Let's go ahead and energy switch one of these energies. Let's move it from our Dedenne to our Raichu. Our opponent should have no way to knock out our Raichu next turn or be able to draw 3 prize cards otherwise. We might as well just go for Tandem Shock, which will put them at 240 and knock them out. And we should have a good chance of drawing our last Lightning Energy that's in our prize cards and our Thunder Mountain Prism Star, one or the other. So we got a Lightning Energy and Thunder Mountain Prism Star. We actually got both. That's amazing for us. So with us having 2 prize cards left, unless our opponent is able to get out another Aerodactyl, we are in pretty good shape. And they've already gone through 2 Aerodactyls. Maybe they've prized their third. There's an energy for their turn. How many Welders have they played this game? 2 Welders. Well, I still think we're in a pretty good spot here. There's an Aerodactyl, and that one can use Fossil Fangs. So that can't knock us out either. Let's just power up an extra energy so we're all prepared with that. And we'll just go for a normal Tandem Shock to knock out our opponent's active Pokemon. Now we have 1 prize card left. Even if they bring out an Aerodactyl GX this turn, any chance that they can, or something else, we can always use Lightning Ride GX against it. And I think our opponent's going to quickly realize that and probably pass their turn. Maybe they're just trying to see if there's anything else out there. And let's go ahead, just in case our opponent had a bunch of ways to stop our energies. We had an energy switch there. We still have Thunder Mountain. And we can just go ahead and go Lightning Ride all the way to victory. So even though we did lose the first 2 games, we were able to win a game, showing you that it is winnable. Sometimes it's a little bit more of a waiting game, and you got to carefully play around your opponent's stuff. So, like I said, if you have any questions or if anything like that, feel free to ask me during our next coaching session. Ryan would surely be able to answer some questions for you as well. And I hope that this video really helped you understand this deck a little bit more. It's not the most popular deck, but it is annoying for your deck to face. Do keep note of that. It is one of the more difficult matchups for your deck, and every deck does have a poor matchup at some point or another. No worries there. So stay tuned for the next video. We're going to go over another deck profile just so you can understand more about the world of Pokemon. Thank you so much for watching, Brandon, and have yourself a great one.